What's happening with the Seahawks? It's not normal. Ethan Carter here, and I just got to say there's a fine line between an evolution and a total collapse. You got Jalen Milroe running like a running back, threatening the whole quarterback hierarchy. Tyrese Knight and Nwosu are bringing hope to a defense that looked like it was completely sinking. Drew Lock could betray bait, but the right move, man, it's a huge gamble. And Derecki Young, who is basically a nobody, is now fighting for the main stage right next to Cup. So, are we ready for a revolution or just another historic faceplant? The answer starts right now. All right, my fellow Seattle Seahawks fans, before we dive into the latest on our team this Friday, I got to ask you for a quick favor. If you're watching the Seahawks Insider Report, if you dig our breakdowns and you haven't subscribed yet, please just smash that subscribe button. It's huge for the channel and it helps our community of 12s keep on growing. Seriously, thank you so much for the support. The most athletic quarterback on the roster is buried behind expensive contracts and flimsy narratives. Jalen Milroe, the rookie out of Bama, already showed against the Raiders in the preseason that he can flip the script on offense with a 27-yard touchdown scramble and some on-point throws. He's not just another project player. He runs a 40-time like a legendary running back, and he's got a cannon that just screams big play potential. But what's really wild is how he fits into the reality of it all. Sam Darnold got paid like a starter, but there's no long-term commitment there. And Drew Lock, man, he's been way too up and down to inspire any real confidence. Milroe, though, he comes in like a fantasy football cheat code, drafted at the bottom of the board, but with the potential to just go off late in the season. The Justin Fields comparison is inevitable. Even without flashy passing stats, his ability to run completely changes the offensive math. Just imagine the pressure on a tired defense when he escapes the pocket and just silently rips off a 20-yard run, turning dead drives into new life. That's pure electricity. Of course, he still misreads stuff, holds onto the ball too long, but what rookie doesn't? The problem is Seattle can't afford to waste that kind of raw talent, especially with an O-line that's still gelling. Milroe survives in that chaos better than Lock does. For us, the longtime fans, this is more than just tactics. It's a throwback. It's that rebellious vibe from the team that shocked the world with the Legion of Boom. We don't want some safe bureaucratic choice. We want guts. And maybe, just maybe, Milroe is the spark this franchise needs. If Darnold stumbles, the roar from the stands is going to be deafening. And I got to ask you, who do you trust more? A predictable veteran or a kid who can straight up set a game on fire? The front office can kick the can down the road, but that choice is going to come knocking sooner than they think. And here's the juiciest part. This pressure on the quarterback opens the door for another critical conversation. Because while Milroe is threatening to blow up on offense, the defense is also starting to breathe a sigh of relief with some huge names coming back from injury. But do health and hope really go hand in hand? Just when it looked like the infirmary was going to swallow our defense whole, we get signs of life that completely change the picture. Tyrese Knight, our centerpiece in the middle of the field since last season, finally got cleared to get back to it. After some medical mystery that had fans and the coaching staff sweating, Mike McDonald announced that it's time to put the plan in motion. It's like seeing a light switch flip on in the heart of our D-Knight. Brings that physicality, the reads, the aggression that reminds you of the linebackers that defined eras in Seattle. And just having him back at practice is a huge morale boost. But it didn't stop there. Uchennosu, out for months, was back in pads doing individual drills, and he looked explosive. That's the kind of thing that could totally reshape our pass rush even in Week 1. It's like finding a weapon you had locked in a safe for way too long. Charles Cross, our left tackle, was also back in 11 on 11's fresh-off finger surgery. A sign that our quarterback protection might actually be solid against the 49ers in the opener. And if that wasn't enough, Olu Oluwatimi, our key center, is back to full practice, while Kenneth Walker was running free. No limitations, looking like he's got that cut-and-burst instinct back. All this news paints a picture of optimism, but it also raises that old question. Does coming back too fast come with a heavy price? Longtime fans, you know what I'm talking about. We remember all too well when rushed rehabs destroyed entire seasons for promising players. McDonald is preaching caution, but you can't help but picture a defense with Knight and Nwosu side by side, anchored by the youth and the juice we were missing in 2024. And on offense, a healthy cross means fewer hits on Darnold or Milroe, which gives us a better shot at consistency in the pocket. It's a wave of hope. But every single one of these guys comes back with a question mark about durability. How many snaps can these guys really handle? And if one of them goes down again, the domino effect could be devastating. This mix of good news and dread, it creates both hype and anxiety, 'cause Seattle needs every single piece on the board if they want to face this brutal start to the season. The energy is rising, but you can't escape the suspense. Health is smiling on us now, but for how long? And while all this is going on, the front office is staring at a crossroads on offense that could redefine the immediate future because there's an extra quarterback in the room, and Minnesota is already looking our way. How does an inconsistent quarterback become a valuable trade chip just because he's wearing the right jersey? Drew Lockett, the guy who made us smile for one afternoon against the Colts and then made us want to pull our hair out the rest of the year, could now actually get us some real assets here in the preseason. With Sam Darnold locked in as the starter and Jalen Milroe showing flashes of that electricity, Locke becomes that used car on the lot that still turns heads, especially Minnesota's. The Vikings are in a state of quiet desperation. Trusting the rookie J.J. McCarthy without a reliable insurance policy is playing with fire, and the guys they have behind him don't scare anybody. That's where John Schneider, the master of pulling strings behind the scenes, comes in. Seattle has a chance to turn an erratic backup into draft picks, or maybe even a strategic piece for the roster. But there's a risk. Trading Locke means fast-tracking Milroe to QB2, betting way too early on the rookie ability to read complex NFL defenses. Is it worth it on paper? Yeah, Locke has already shown us his ceiling is limited and he's not a long-term solution. Milroe, on the other hand, he's that lottery ticket that could pay off big time. And you can't help but remember way back when Seattle believed in Russell Wilson even when Matt Flynn was the safe bet. And it worked. So now what? Are we looking at history repeating itself? Plus, there's the psychological factor. Trading Locke would show that the franchise trusts the future and isn't afraid to cut ties with the past. For the longtime fan, that's fuel because nobody can stomach any more lukewarm decisions. But at the same time, there's the ghost of seasons past where we gamble too big and we're left with no safety net. Picture this: Darnold gets hurt, Milroe is still raw, and Locke is already in Minnesota. Is that gutsy or just reckless? This whole debate messes with identity, strategy, and pure emotion, because messing with the quarterback depth chart is like touching the central nerve of a franchise. Seattle could gain some capital and make room for Milroe, but the price is betting it all on the unknown. And when the unknown is in charge, anything can happen, including a forgotten wide receiver becoming a preseason star and completely scrambling the pecking order in the passing game. Who would have thought that would be the next twist? Nobody, and I mean nobody, expected a forgotten name in the receiver rotation to steal the show, but that's exactly what's happening. DK Young, who until yesterday was just a body on special teams, has been balling out in practice and turning heads with this quiet chemistry he's building with Sam Darnold. And the detail that just blows up the whole narrative is simple. He's not just running secondary routes. He's earning reps in red zone drills and making clutch catches. This is disruptive because the Seahawks offense already has established studs like DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, not to mention bringing in Cooper Kupp to be the technical master. So, where does Young even fit in? The answer is right there in the void that Lockett leaves when he comes off the field. The vet can't handle 100% of the snaps anymore, and Seattle desperately needs someone to keep that threat alive on intermediate routes. Young, with his solid frame and surprisingly disciplined route running, is starting to make his case for that job. The impact here is bigger than it looks. If he carves out a real role, the offense gets deeper and becomes less predictable. Something that cost us big time in 2024. It's still early, I know, but attentive fans remember similar stories when no-name receivers blew up in the preseason and became trusted targets. The difference here is the context. Darnold is desperate for reliable targets beyond the big stars, and Milroe, when he gets his shot, is going to need guys who know how to improvise when a play breaks down. Young could be that safety valve. The David Moore comparison isn't a stretch. A guy who wasn't a star but who always showed up when the team needed him. Of course,